Quarterback. It's by far the most important position in all of football. Yet some teams just can't seem to figure it out. Seriously though, is it that difficult? What's up everyone? Before we start, we just want to let you know about our awesome giveaway at the end of the month, where we'll be giving away $500 cash to 3 lucky subscribers. Consider this our way of giving back to you, the fans of TPS who helped to make this all possible. To be entered into the contest, all you need to do is subscribe and have your notifications on. And you've got to be commenting on our videos regularly throughout the month, so make sure you hit that bell along with liking and commenting on our videos. If you're already subscribed and have notifications on, then all you need to do is like and comment, and you'll be automatically entered into the random draw. Good luck! Several teams have been consistently held back by their poor quarterbacks, and that all stems from years of bad drafting, trades, and free agent signings. Will some of these franchises ever reverse the trend and find their long-term answer under center?
I'm fed up with this world.
Only time will tell, but in the meantime, let's look at 10 teams who've consistently failed to find a great quarterback. Number 10. Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings were once a quarterback factory, from Randall Cunningham to Dante Culpepper to the 2009 version of Brett Favre. This franchise was blessed with several game changers under center, but the Vikings haven't had any long-term stability at quarterback for a decade plus now. Taking Christian Ponder 12th overall in 2011 was a giant swing and a miss. He lasted just 4 seasons with the club, winning only 14 of 36 starts. Andy Dalton, whom the Cincinnati Bengals picked up in the second round, would have been the better selection there for the Vikings. The Vikings looked like they had their long-term answer in Teddy Bridgewater, but a gruesome knee injury kept him out of all of 2016 and almost all of 2017. Case Keenum was a one-hit wonder that year, leading the Vikings to the NFC Championship before joining the Denver Broncos in free agency. Rather than keep Bridgewater or Keenum, the Vikings put all their eggs into the basket of Kirk Cousins, inking him a 3-year, fully guaranteed $84 million contract in 2018 free agency.
You like that?
Statistically, Cousins hasn't been bad by any means, but he only has 1 playoff victory through 3 years with the Vikings, and Cousins hasn't exactly elevated the overall play of his teammates. Let's face it, there are a lot of great quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and Cousins isn't one of them. Not even close. Number 9. Denver Broncos. The only reason the Broncos don't occupy a top 5 spot on this list is because they had Peyton Manning for 4 years. That dude led them to 4 AFC West Division titles, 2 AFC championships, and a Super Bowl 50 championship. But other than that, the Broncos have been stuck with woeful QBs since John Elway's retirement in 1999. Sure, they hit on some one-year wonders like Jake Plummer and Tim Tebow, but Jay Cutler and Kyle Orton never lived up to expectations in the Mile High City. And since Manning's retirement in 2016, woof, it's been bad.
It's bad. It's real bad. It's like eating a hot circle of garbage.
The Broncos struck out when they took Paxton Lynch with the 26th selection that year. After the 2017 season, they were tied to Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo in trade rumors. But the deal never materialized and Romo eventually retired. The trio of Lynch, Trevor Siemian, and Bronk Osweiler failed in 2017, so Elway handed Case Keenum a 2-year deal in 2018 free agency, then gave up on him after a year.
How come you don't want me, man?
And to make matters worse, the Broncos took Bradley Chubb over Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson in the 2018 draft. Joe Flacco couldn't get it going in his 1-year stop with the Broncos, and Drew Lock doesn't exactly look like the guy either. Elway finally stepped down from his GM role in 2021, and it probably had to do with his inability to find an answer at the game's most important position. Number 8. Las Vegas Raiders. You can debate all you want about whether or not Derek Carr is a good quarterback, but one thing's for certain, he is not a top 10 QB. Never has been, never will be. Despite that fact, in his 47-63 record through his first 7 seasons, the Raiders remain committed to Carr. But he's not the only quarterback who's been responsible for holding this team back. This team could have had Aaron Rodgers with the 23rd pick in the 2005 draft. Instead, they took cornerback Fabian Washington and watched A-Rod get selected 1 pick later by the Green Bay Packers. Then they went and took Jamarcus Russell 1st overall in the star-studded 2007 draft, and we all know how that turned out. Too bad the Raiders couldn't take a QB in the class that brought out Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, and Nick Foles. So why couldn't they? Because the Raiders gave up their 2012 first-rounder to the Bengals in that failed Carson Palmer trade. Looking back, Carr may actually be the best quarterback this franchise has had over the past 2 decades. And he only has 1 winning season to show for it. Good grief. Number 7, San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers drafted Alex Smith first overall in 2005, and the organization has had to hear time and time again how they made a mistake by passing on Aaron Rodgers.
At the first selection in the 2005 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Aaron Rodgers, quarterback from California.
Yeah, the 49ers got 1.5 good seasons out of Smith, but come on now. There is no comparing him to Rodgers, who probably would have led this team to a Super Bowl by now. The 49ers also got some great play from Colin Kaepernick, who took them to Super Bowl 47 and to the 2013 NFC Championship game a year later. But following his release in 2017, the 49ers have struggled to find their next guy. Brian Hoyer was a flop, and though CJ Beathard delivered some nice moments here and there, he's likely to be nothing more than a backup throughout the rest of his career. Lots of 49ers fans love Jimmy Garoppolo, but his injury history and inconsistent play have been frustrating. Yes, they went to Super Bowl 54 with him as a starter, but that was mostly because of their defense and running game. Is it a bad time to remind 49ers fans that they drafted Solomon Thomas over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes in 2017? Months before they traded for Garoppolo, or that they were kinda sorta in on the Tom Brady sweepstakes in 2020 free agency, only to lose out to the Bucks. Seeing how Tom won the Super Bowl with Tampa, it's safe to assume he could have totally taken his childhood team all the way too. Number 6, Miami Dolphins. Boy, oh boy. Did the Dolphins ever suffer at the quarterback position after Dan Marino's retirement in 2000? Jay Fielder was the main starter from 2000 to 04. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great either. Dolphins fans probably don't need to be reminded that they passed on the chance to sign future Hall of Famer Drew Brees in 2006 because of concerns over his shoulder injury.
Ian, what's going on with Drew Brees?
Sources tell me and Jane Slater that Drew Brees and the Miami Dolphins struck a deal. Brees gets $27 million guaranteed, something that is going to be signed today.
The New Orleans Saints happily picked him up instead, while the Dolphins made a trade for Dante Culpepper that they quickly regretted. Miami got inconsistent play from Chad Pennington and Chad Henne for several years before taking Ryan Tannehill 8th overall in 2012. Though he had some nice moments, Tannehill's tenure in Miami was marred by injuries and inconsistent play. He didn't break out until he joined the Tennessee Titans in 2019. Oh, and let's not forget that the same year the Fins drafted Tannehill, they could have had Russell Wilson, who didn't get taken until round 3. Sure, Dolphins fans are probably excited about their future with Tua Tagovailoa, but you have to think they regret passing on Justin Herbert, whom the Los Angeles Chargers drafted 1 pick later in 2020. At this point, they can only pray that Tua is their savior from decades of quarterback misery. Number 5, Washington Football Team. After 3 solid years from Jason Campbell between 2007 to 09, Washington endured a frustrating window of quarterback instability that has lasted over a decade now. The trade for Donovan McNabb in 2010 failed. Drafting Robert Griffin III second overall brought incredible results for 1 year until the franchise showed total disregard for his knee injuries and derailed his career. Kirk Cousins was a steady starter from 2015 to 2017 until the franchise inexplicably let him go to free agency. They then missed out on the chance to take Lamar Jackson in the first round of the 2018 draft and, taken Dwayne Haskins 15th overall in 2019? Sure didn't work out like they probably had hoped. Alex Smith had some nice moments in DC. It's just too bad he suffered that gruesome knee injury that almost ended his career. With Smith and Haskins both done in DC, the fans in Washington can only hope that their next QB is the one that sticks. Number 4, Cleveland Browns. The Browns would be number 1 on this list if they didn't have Baker Mayfield, who looks like the franchise quarterback this team has been searching for a while now. But even then, we're sure many Cleveland fans would have preferred if they used the top selection in 2018 on Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, who have looked like the better QBs through their first 3 NFL seasons. Before Baker, where or when do we start? Taking Tim Couch first overall in 1999, right before Donovan McNabb went second overall to the Philadelphia Eagles, set this franchise back for many years. That $25 million the Browns dished out to former 49ers Pro Bowler Jeff Garcia in 2004 was also a mind-numbing decision that they regretted quickly. And then you throw in other first-round flops like Brady Quinn, Brandon Weeden, and Johnny Manziel. Also, some Browns fans probably wish the franchise never dealt the number 2 pick in the 2016 draft to Philly, who used it on Carson Wentz. Maybe the latter would have blossomed into a big star in Ohio. Ah well, for Cleveland's sake, let's just hope Mayfield proves to be worthy of their top pick from 2018. Number 3. Jacksonville Jaguars. In their young history, the Jaguars have had 3 quality short-term starters in Mark Brunell, Byron Leftwich, and David Garrard. All 3 of them helped the Jaguars reach the postseason. But since Garrard's departure in 2011, the Jaguars have been consistently held back by terrible quarterbacking. Taking Blaine Gabbert 10th overall in 2011 was a brutal franchise-changing mistake, and J.J. Watt was the next pick too. Jacksonville thought they had their next franchise quarterback when they took Blake Bortles 3rd overall in 2014. Hindsight is 2020, but even Derek Carr or Teddy Bridgewater would have been the better picks than Bortles. I get that he had good numbers in 2015 and did just enough to help the Jaguars reach the 2017 NFC Championship game, but other than that, he was a major bust who was released after an embarrassing 2018 season. In 2019, the Jaguars handed Super Bowl 52 MVP Nick Foles a 4-year, $88 million contract. He was marred by injuries and inconsistency and lost his starting job to rookie Gardner Minshew. Foles was traded to the Chicago Bears in the ensuing offseason, so the Jaguars have consistently failed at finding a great quarterback. That changes now. There is no way Trevor Lawrence will flop in Duval County. Not even this franchise can waste his talents. Right? Number 2. Chicago Bears. The Bears' identity has always been on defense, and that's helped them to remain competitive throughout the years, unlike other QB-deficient teams from our list. But man, this team just can't seem to find any above-average quarterback whatsoever. The Jay Cutler tenure was far more disappointing than successful, and they probably don't lose to the Indianapolis Colts in Super Bowl 41 if Rex Grossman isn't the starting quarterback. Oh, and remember when the Bears took Mitch Trubisky over Mahomes and Watson in 2017? Sorry, Bears fans, we just had to bring it up.
Delusional thoughts from Fantasy Island.
The trade for Nick Foles didn't solve Chicago's quarterback issues in 2020, so the search continues. Good luck to the Bears' next quarterback. If history is any indicator, your career could be doomed with this franchise. Number 1. New York Jets. Chad Pennington was a solid quarterback for the Jets in the 2000s, but ever since he left the franchise in 2008, well, to say it hasn't been pretty would be a massive understatement. The Jets got very little out of Hall of Famer Brett Favre in his 1-year stop with the team. Taking Mark Sanchez 5th overall in 2009 also set the franchise back. Yeah, they reached consecutive AFC Championship games with him, but that had more to do with their defense and run game. Drafting Geno Smith in the 2nd round in 2013 produced just 12 total wins. Ryan Fitzpatrick had a career year in 2015 with the Jets, then regressed mightily in 2016. And Josh McCown didn't cut it as their starter either. Sam Darnold hasn't done much since being drafted 3rd overall in 2018. So, of course the Jets probably wish they took Allen or Jackson instead, but they didn't.
But you didn't.
The Browns and Jets have seemingly invested more money in draft picks at the QB position than anyone else. The difference is that the Browns probably have their answer now, while the Jets are still searching for theirs. And who knows when they'll ever find it. But hey, what other NFL teams always miss out on finding great quarterbacks? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.